All right. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm so excited. And I think we'll just kind of start with sharing a little bit about you and your family and why you wanted to start your own business online.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I'm so thankful and blessed. So I am Ashley. I'm a mama. I'm married. I've got 3 kids under the age of 5. I am busy, busy, and I had been in healthcare for 15 years. I've always been super like independent and career driven and always all about like wanting to level up, climb that ladder. And then I had kids and everything changed. I was like, how am I supposed to leave this teeny tiny little baby at the daycare or the sitters? But I didn't know that there was an option. So I just kept doing it. I did that with baby number 1 and baby number 2. And then I had baby number 3, and I had so much anxiety and guilt. And I was like, I cannot do this anymore. So kind of the final straw for me was after baby number 3 was born, my son. Um, he had a procedure that he needed done that insurance didn't cover, and I didn't have the money for it. And I had to ask to borrow money. And I said, like, right then and there, never again. Like, I never want to be in this position. It felt awful just not being able to provide for my kids. So, at the time I was working 12-hour shifts and I just didn't understand why. I was busting my butt. I was doing the overtime, but we were still drowning in debt. I was still drowning in all that mom guilt. So I was like, something's got to give. And I saw it all over the place. And I was like, why not me? Like, why not? So I kind of just had to get out of my own way because I wanted more for us.
Mhm. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So, I love that one story you said that one time about you and picking your daughter up from school, creating a piece of content. How you
Yeah.
could share that because that was such a really awesome story for moms to hear that how you can just do this business 100% from anywhere around your family.
Yeah, so when I was looking for a side gig, I've tried so many different things. I've tried different makeup and health and wellness, and I had my own boutique for a while, and I call those like they were kind of like a band-aid. Like it did help. It brought in some extra income, but it pulled me away from my kids even more. So
Mm.
when I first heard about this, honestly, I thought digital marketing or anything in this space was super time consuming. And I already was stretched thin. That was like the one thing I didn't want to sacrifice more of with my time. So I heard, everybody talks about a 2-hour workday, but to me, like the most beautiful part about that 2-hour workday is I can split it up. And I
Mhm.
do. Like I listen to our daily video while I'm doing the breakfast dishes after I get my girls out the door for school. And then I make a piece of content in the school pickup line while I'm waiting for my girls to be released because the baby's usually content in the car seat. And then I go live during nap time. So I'm able to break this up and put it in the pockets of my day. Like while being myself, like with sometimes I do it with a baby on my hip and peanut butter on my shirt, and the toys and the noise and chaos and everything because that's just me, and it works for that.
See, that's what I love, right? Because you just get to do life and just your online business fits in around your life. And to me, that's what's so important. I love that. So let me ask you a question. Has you noticed like changes from like your stress and then just like your overall well-being from having your own online business?
Oh my gosh, so much. Honestly, I didn't realize like how stressed I was, but looking back, I feel like the person that I was, stress was like probably radiating off of me. Like somebody would stand next to me and be like, "Oh, like she is a mess." But I just now like it turns out like I wasn't a bad mom. I was just burnt out, like I was so overwhelmed. I was constantly nagging at my husband. I was snapping at my kids because I was stretching myself too thin. And so when I like took control of that and figured out like my time is valuable and I can use it better, I've been able to be that mom that like my kids can play with Play-Doh now and I'm not sitting there with an eye twitch, like they can have loud dance parties and I'm not just like, okay, is it over? They get to just be kids being kids.
Mhm.
And I'm not nagging my husband for spending money at lunch that we don't have. And so, yeah, absolutely. The stress, the peace of mind, like the ability to just breathe is something that I, first of all, didn't even realize how much I was lacking it until I'm getting to experience it. And I'm like, man, I don't know how I went so long without it. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So why the Legacy Builders program?
Oh man, I needed something. Like I said, I spent 15 years in healthcare. I did like a little bit of everything, but always in healthcare. So anything digital marketing, anything like in this space felt scary. Like it was a brand new world. So I needed something that was going to give it to me like in bite-sized pieces, that wasn't going to feel overwhelming, that was going to give me support that I needed. So there's a couple reasons. I love like the coaching that we get throughout the week, but even more than that, like I love the daily videos. I know I touched on that a little bit, but just having them, like I said, in the bite-sized pieces, it makes it so much more manageable for me. And then of course, like I'm not good at tech. Like my daughter runs the TV remote better than I do. I am so bad. So the fact that we have like tech support, I was like, okay, that I can do that. And it just felt, it felt right. I felt aligned with it. I could see the biggest thing is I could see the value in it. I wasn't, people say you buy a course to sell a course, and this is like truly more than that. There's so much value in it that I don't ever like. It's crazy when somebody purchases this from me. I just know like now the sky's the limits for them, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. And I know that for me too, but there's so much value packed in this that I was like, dang, this is definitely more than a course, It's
I love
it's
that.
so much more.
Yes. So let's talk about the community part of the Legacy Builders program. What do you think of the community? Uh-oh.
I honestly was like overwhelmed with how incredible it is, because like I said, I've done like networks before, network marketing. I've done MLMs, and of course you get like support from your people, your team in that, but it felt like support for a reason, because when you make money, your upline makes money, and then their upline, and when you rank up, and the CEO and the founder and everybody else above you is like earning off of your effort. So the fact that in our community it's not like that, the people that are pouring into each other in there are simply just pouring into each other because they're like genuine people. There's no like ulterior motives, they're not expecting anything out of it. And I just love, honestly, I was surprised. Like there's people in the community that I've never met, right, in real life, other than through the community. And we talk every single day. And like I found so many friendships and support outside of a business, it's touched like my life in that way too.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
you realize how many people are heart-centered when you're in a community that people are helping each other and expect nothing in return. And I love that.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. So what is something that you've learned in your process of an online business and that you didn't expect to learn?
Um, let's see. Well, honestly, the attraction marketing part of it, because like I said, again, going back to it, with the different like MLMs and stuff that I've done, so many times I've heard people say fake it till you make it. And like that's what I did. That's what I used to do. Like I'm not very outgoing. I'm shy. I'm an introvert. And so having to slide into people's DMs and be like, "Hey, we host a party. Hey, I'm so close to my goal." I didn't like that. It just didn't sit well for me. Um, and then with this, nobody's ever told me to fake anything. In fact, like you've told me to do the exact opposite. Like, Ashley, be you. Like, it's okay if the baby's making noise. And I'm like, okay. And I remember like specifically I think it was like one of my first 3 times I ever went live. My baby at the time, he was 3 months old. I had one daughter at preschool. One was set up with her snacks and her coloring stuff. And I was like, okay, this is as good as it's going to get. And I hit the button to go live. And the baby woke up from a nap. My daughter was climbing all over me. I got a notification that I had to go get my daughter early from preschool. I was literally sweating. I was like trying to pat the baby. I was trying to talk to my people. And I just kept apologizing. I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. And then I felt so discouraged. I got in my car, I drove to preschool, had my phone in the passenger seat, got my daughter pulled up, picked up my phone, and seen that I had made $600. while buckling my daughter in her car seat. And somebody messaged me and she's like, I needed to see your live. And her words were that you could do this amongst the chaos. And I was like, what? And it was like kind of right then. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to try to be perfect because I'm not. Like, I am a hot mess, but you can be like a hot mess success, which is what I've learned. So with that, you know, attraction marketing, I didn't know what that meant, but really I just get to be me and I get to, you know, my hope is that I